So pause. Do not rush through these words. Do not allow distraction to pull you away. Stay with me until the end, because there is something your spirit has been longing to hear. I am speaking into places within you that have been silent for far too long. I am exposing what has deceived you, awakening what you buried, and preparing to move what has been delayed. You are not simply watching another message. You are standing at a moment of divine alignment. My beloved child, I have watched the clock of your heart, not the clock that measures minutes and hours, but the rhythm of your spirit, the quiet pulse of your hopes, your fears, your prayers, and your deepest desires. I have heard every prayer you whispered when no one else was listening. I saw every moment you wondered, Lord, is this finally the time? I was there. Every tear, every sigh, every unanswered question, every night you wonder whether I have forgotten you. I saw it all. You measure time by calendars and deadlines, but I measure it by purpose. I know exactly what each season is producing inside you. Nothing has been wasted. You thought you were waiting. I was preparing. You thought you were stuck. I was strengthening you. You thought the silence meant I had stepped away. I was working in places you could not see. Your waiting was not empty. It became an altar of surrender. Your stillness was not weakness. It became the soil where patience, wisdom, discernment, and endurance began to grow. You wanted the promise immediately, but I knew the promise required preparation. I have never been late. I have never lost sight of you. I have never forgotten the word I placed over your life. There were things I had to protect you from. There were doors that looked right, but would have wounded you. There were opportunities that appeared perfect, but would have pulled you away from my purpose. There were relationships, environments, and paths I allowed to close because I could see what you could not. My delays were not punishments. They were protection. Divine delay is not divine denial. Sometimes I allow the seed to remain beneath the soil because roots must grow before branches can rise. What you called a delay, I call development. What you called rejection, I use as redirection. What you called silence, I used to teach you how to recognize my voice. While you were asking, when will it happen? I was asking, can they carry it when it arrives? Because what I am preparing for you is not something I want to place into fragile hands. I have been building strength within you. I have been developing your character. I have been deepening your discernment. I have been teaching you how to stand without applause and believe without visible evidence. You may not recognize yourself anymore, but I do. You are stronger than you were. You are wiser than you were. You are more discerning than you were. The person who once needed every answer immediately has learned how to trust me in the unanswered places, and that transformation matters. I have not watched your waiting from a distance. I have been with you inside it. I was there when you woke up wondering whether anything would change. I was there when you went to sleep, carrying questions you could not answer. I was there when tears fell quietly and you had no words left to pray. I saw them all. Nothing you surrendered to me disappeared into nothingness. Every prayer became part of your testimony. Every painful season taught you something that comfort alone never could. And now I am bringing you toward a new chapter. Do not panic. Do not force it. Do not try to make tomorrow happen today. Remain. Be still enough to recognize what I am doing. In the quiet moments, you may have sensed something changing, a stirring in your heart, a desire to pause, a sudden awareness that you could not explain. You may have felt drawn away from a noise and toward stillness. Listen carefully. Do not automatically dismiss every stirring within you. Bring it before me. Test it with wisdom. Seek truth. Let discernment guide you rather than fear. I am teaching you the difference between restlessness and redirection. I am teaching you how to recognize when it is time to move and when it is time to remain. You wanted thunder. Sometimes I speak through a whisper. Why? Because a whisper requires closeness. A whisper draws you near. I do not always need to shake the world to get your attention. Sometimes I simply quiet everything around you until you can finally hear what I've been saying all along. That quiet moment you almost ignored may become the moment you remember forever. Not because every emotion is a supernatural sign, but because stillness gives you room to listen, reflect, pray, and recognize what truly matters. You have spent too much time surviving. I am teaching you how to live with purpose. You have spent too much time reacting. I am teaching you how to respond with wisdom. You spent too much time chasing what was never meant for you. I am teaching you how to recognize what is truly yours to carry. Your sensitivity is not something you need to be ashamed of. Your tender heart is not weakness, but tenderness must be joined with discernment. A soft heart can still have strong boundaries. A loving spirit can still say no. A surrendered life can still walk away from what is unhealthy. I have been teaching you that, and now I am turning what once felt like pressure into purpose. What once confused you is becoming clarity. What once wounded you is becoming wisdom. What once delayed you is becoming preparation. You thought you were being distracted, but sometimes I was using interruptions to redirect your attention. You thought you were wandering, but I was teaching you to notice the path. You thought you had missed your moment. You did not. You were becoming the person capable of carrying it. Hear me clearly, beloved child. You are not too late. You are not forgotten. You are not disqualified because your journey took longer than you expected. Your timeline is not my measure of your worth. Do not compare your chapter with someone else's. Do not look at another person's breakthrough and assume your story has been overlooked. I have been writing your story differently. Some things had to remain hidden until you were ready to understand them. Some doors had to stay closed until you developed the wisdom to walk through the right one. Some dreams had to be buried for a season before they could be resurrected in a healthier form. You did not waste those years.